Well, those were
Well,
images.
just, you talked about this 100%, inspection, the examination. How realistic is it?
It is realistic. I mean, you
When
offload.
we look at the volume of containers that currently, can you give us an idea of how many containers currently come into our ports and how realistic, perhaps how many containers Nigeria Customs hopes to examine 100% on a daily basis?
Well, I don't have the statistics right now of containers that come into the port on a daily basis, but I can tell you that easy or hard it will take to 100% examine a container will depend, one, on the size of the container. Is it 1 by 20 or is it 1 by 40 feet container? And then, two, it will also depend on the type of things inside. If they are the type that can easily be offloaded, of course, labor, they are there, they offload it, and you easily go into it, see it, and they load it back. But if it is a type of item that will be so complicated, you need forklift to bring and all that, it will also depend on the ability of terminal operators to be able to provide the equipment, the forklift, to bring these things down, to examine. So
I'm happy that
I'm
happy that you're seeing the challenges that we're seeing in terms of some of the things that the Nigerian Customs could come across in trying to inspect 100% the content of every container. So when do we get that sort of directive? I was saying that Nigerian Customs is going to undertake 100% examination. Are you not going to be punishing the innocent alongside those who are who have try to smear the system?
In insisting that we should 100% examine containers, we do not pretend that it's going to be easy. We know that it's going to be difficult. And that is why the Comptroller General said, even if it will take only 3 or 4, you do it. Now, if you are going to punish one, just as you said, the innocent, if 1 or 2 who probably their container does not contain anything that contravenes the law, are delayed either because of the time it takes to do the examination or because of the inability of the terminal operators to provide the forklift and all that, excuse me, then it has to be so because we are doing it for the greater good.
So who bears the cost? If we're trying to, for instance, you bring in products, you're waiting for your turn for Nigeria Customs to clear you and you're incurring demurrage, who bears the cost of that?
Well, when an importer is delayed in the port, the blame cannot totally go to customs. Customs is just one in the chain of clearance. Even when customs examines and releases, I mean, you still need to go to your shipping line, you need to go to your terminal operator, you need to go and pay all those costs and all that. And all those things take some days. I mean, if everything is all right, if you declare truthfully, they examine it, today it can be released. But you might exit next tomorrow. And people holding you are no longer custom officers. So the issue of dwell time, the time you stay in the port and all that, are not completely to be blamed on customs.
You don't see how that sort of scenario would arise? I mean, where, for instance, because the Nigeria Customs insists on 100% examination, people could incur costs that they ordinarily wouldn't have if, they were doing this on the normal, on good faith and maybe partial inspection, for instance, or random inspection.
We cannot even imagine partial inspection. I mean, in the light of this discovery, you yourself will not recommend partial inspection. We need to do it. We have to do it for the security of our lives and the country.
I might not recommend partial inspection, but I definitely would not recommend manual inspection as well.
Oh, we look forward to the day that we have all we need in terms of technology and all that. But as it is, this is the situation, and we have to do the best we can do to ensure that appropriate revenue is collected, security is guaranteed.
Well, I know that we're wrapping up now, but we cannot let you go without asking you what precisely happened over the weekend in terms of the helicopters that the Nigerian Customs impounded. What precisely was the story?
Well, that's one thing that the Nigerian Customs Service would rather not want to be dragged into the cross currents flowing as regards that thing. Sorry. We've stated our facts. We've done our. Performed.
What's the facts from the perspective of the Nigerian
We've performed our statutory function. These things arrived without relevant papers. They are armored helicopters. They needed end user certificate. They needed police permit and all that. It arrived without those ones. So, from the perspective of customs, it's subject to seizure. The law empowers us to seize it. It was seized, taken to court, condemned, and disposed.
It was taken to court? Did you say it was taken to court?
Yeah, it was condemned. It was seized, condemned in the law court.
To the Supreme Court?
Nobody showed up. So I think that's all I have to say about that. We've done what we need to do from the perspective of our statutory functions, and I stand by what my Deputy Controller General said at the day of handing over.
So what's the status now? They are currently with the Nigerian Air Force? That's
the organization we handed over to.
Are you a little bothered, though, by the controversy that is raging? The Nigerian Customs bothered?
Mokwe, I would rather limit myself to what I have just said. We've just done our job according to the law and got it disposed the way it should. And as I said, I stand by what my DCG said when it was handing over.
We're not disputing it, but when when you begin to hear the different sides of the stories, it definitely begins to raise questions as to whether or not the Nigerian Customs did due diligence. Did they do a thorough investigation on this? Were they speaking half truths, or were they just trying to implicate a particular government because they're in opposition? These kinds of questions will arise, and it behoves the Nigerian Customs to be able to clear itself and say, we're only doing our job. We have no partisan affiliations whatsoever, and this was the story according to what we saw.
I have just told you that these things arrived without relevant papers. That is enough reason. Such importation contravenes section 46 and 47 of the Customs and Excise Management Act, and therefore is liable to seizure.
You said that
that we did,
yes,
and subjected it to normal court procedures, as we do with every other seizures, and dispose it according to what the law says. Of course, it's an armored helicopters, so we couldn't have auctioned it to an individual. So it was given to
you. First, I think I read that statement. You talked about unknown importers. That's one. And then two, it does raise questions because it also has implication for the seizure of these guns, for instance. I mean, when you say that they were unknown importers, people that you do not know, and then you do not know, for instance, where they're going to end up, and it was then given to the Nigerian Air Force. It does raise questions as to whether or not you're going to do an investigation, with these guns, where they're going to end up, and whether or not people will be prosecuted. And we know that not just anybody can bring in armored helicopters into this country.
Well, Mark, many things have been said about this. What we are saying, and we keep saying, is that these helicopters arrived in this country in contravention of the law. The law empowers us to seize them. That's what we did. We took it to court for condemnation and forfeiture to the federal government. We did. The law empowers us to dispose it, and it was disposed. That's what we did, strictly
and nobody was
according to the law.
prosecuted. Nobody was involved in the importation of this. Nobody was prosecuted for bringing in helicopters without papers, without the necessary papers.
Well,
I'm just asking. I'm a journalist.
I told you that nobody showed up. Okay.
So we'll definitely leave it at that. Mr. Joseph Atta is an Assistant Controller of Customs and also the acting spokesperson of the Nigeria Customs Service. We thank you very much for coming on Sunrise Daily.
Thank you, my pleasure.
The program will continue shortly now. Do join us again.